Welcome back. We are going to see class component and function component in this video. When creating a React component, the component's name must start with an uppercase letter. Let us create a new component and call it in our React project. Let me remove this import statement which is in no use. Let's create a new file in the src folder, right-click New File. We will save this file with name products.js with first letter P as capital. Now we will be looking at the class component. First let us call import React and then declare a class definition followed by it. Class products extends React.component. The component has to include the extends React.component statement because this creates an inheritance to React component and gives your component access to React.component's functions. The component also requires a render method. This method returns HTML. Here we will call a header tag with its contents as product page and also some meaningful description in paragraph tag. It must be inside a group tag. Let us save it using Ctrl+S and also to call or import this component inside App.js file. Now we will call the component inside the return with closing tag as products. Let us run and see how it looks on the UI. We open the terminal. Move to My Store and then npm run start. Here you can see we are getting an error which says export default was not found. Also it shows for which component the error is. Here it is for the products.js file. That means you declared the component and called the component inside app.js, but we failed to export it from products.js. Let me add it first. We must declare the export default statement in the end of the file or during declaration. Ctrl+S. And now you can see a successful compilation message on the terminal. Here we can see our component products.js contents. The above contents are coming from the app.js as you can see here and the rest from our products file. Now if I make any changes to the products then it will only get reloaded and app.js will be stable. I hope you were able to understand the class component. Now let us see the functional component. We will a new file and name it as navigation.js. Let's make it short nav.js. Its declaration is common as function followed by function name. Here our function name is nav and it has a HTML statements to be returned. Let me add some unordered list items as follows. Let's save it. Now, we need to export the function as export default and function name. We will again call this function in app.js. We will be calling it above the products component. Oh, let me import it first, otherwise it will give us an error. Save it and the terminal shows no compilation error. Here you can see the unordered list is on UI just before the product component. The filled round bulletins are far away because the component is loaded inside the div tag. Let's remove it and verify it once. You can see the unordered list items are close to its bulletins. As I said earlier, you can write the export default statement at the declaration of the class or a function. Let me show you. Export space default and now Ctrl+S. As you can see that there is no error and the contents are loaded properly. We will create one more component as I have already created it. It has two buttons in it and the most important thing is, it is a constant declaration with export default. Let's call it a nav.js and before that let me club them all inside a group tag. First step is to import the component and then include the component inside the group tag. We will call it after the item list as action tag and save it. Look, you can see an error. It is very much important to go through the error description to understand the root cause. This error we are getting is we have declared a const variable as export default. It is important to know that const can be declared as export only, or else you can use it as export default in the end of the component. Now we remove the default, but still it's an error because we need to import the variable using curly brackets. Perfect. The buttons are now loaded on UI successfully. Now you can load the variable and export it easily into your project. This constant action is an example of arrow function, also known as fat arrow function. Let me remove the export and declare it in the end of the file. And save it. You can see there is an error, and the reason is, in the nav.js file we are importing a variable constant, but now we are passing the entire component, so we need to remove the curly brackets and save it again. You can see our contents are loaded as expected. With this we have covered the class and function components and arrow functions. Don't forget to comment your feedback and let me know if you have any questions. For now, thank you. Keep learning and reacting. See you soon in next video.